A very good morning class and welcome back. In the last video we discussed about the service sector importance. Then we began the importance of transportation. How is transportation important as far as our economy is concerned? Today we are here to discuss the channels of transportation. What are the different means of transportations? That is road transport, rail transport, water transport and air transport. So the first one we'll begin with is rail transport. The topic of the day is rail transport. We'll see what is the history of railway, which will come under the topic introduction. In the introduction sector, we'll see what is the history of railway till date, how has railway expanded, its channel, its network throughout the country, and which was the first train to run in India, during which year, why did the Britishers let the foundation of the railway channel or railway network in India, what was the motive behind, that will come under the introduction. The second part is importance of rail transport. There are 3 points in it. What is the importance of rail transport, or why is rail transport so very important? The question basically comes from this part only. How is rail transport important for the growth and development of Indian economy? Or how is rail transport better than other means of transport? Other means, when I say, I mean to say how is rail transport better than road, waterways and airways. So that comparison scale has to be kept in mind, and once you get to know all the 4 means of communications, all the 4 means of transportation, you'll come to know the comparison. And the last is the progress. What is the progress of the Indian Railway till date? 6 points are there which we are going to cover. How has it progressed with the passage of time from 1853 till date? How has it progressed? As far as introduction is concerned, railway sector is the biggest sector of our country. That means it is the sector which is owned, managed and run by the Government of India. The Government of India has full stake in it. It is the biggest source of revenue for our country. The income that is generated is huge amount by the railway sector. Second factor is it creates a big amount of or big number of employment opportunity for the general masses. It is the only sector which holds a large population into the employment sector. The first train that ran in India was in the year 1853 from Mumbai to Thane. The Britishers had their own motive. That is why they had laid the foundation of, or they set the network of railway over here. They had their own intentions, own motive behind this. It was their own principle which actually described, or which actually made them lay the foundation of rail transport in our country. The Britishers had built up an extensive network of railways in order to exercise and maintain tight control over the vast Indian territory. It was just to have a control over the Indian territory and all the areas of the Indian territory. They set up or they let the network of railways over here. First reason. Second was, and to open up the country as a source of food and raw materials for the industries and a market for their manufacturers. Second was to take away all the resources which were excess in our country. Those could be exported to their, or those could be carried over to their own country. The motive was to take away all the resources from our country to their country. This was second motive. And second was to make this place a manufacturing hub. To make our country a manufacturing hub. Once the manufacturing process was done, once the production was completed, all the completed products or all the finished products would be carried forward to their own country. The main intention was to involve in trade. Trade involves both import and export, but here it is one way only. All the resources which were ample over here So this was a one-way intention only. That is why they set the network of railways over here so that the trade could take place on an easy basis. I told you this is the only sector which is government owned and managed. But in the recent data, in the recent time, there have been some changes in this. The changes are that the private participations are allowed now. Private participations are permitted now. The government has been selling its stake, something around 10% have been sold out, and the term is disinvestment. Disinvestment is a very important term, keep in mind. Disinvestment means when a government organization, when a government venture sells its own shares to the private personals, it is called as disinvestment. When a government in a venture sells its own shares, it is called as disinvestment. I tell you the news. Coal India Limited (CIL) sold its 10% of the stake to the private personals, and in spite of the word sell, we use disinvestment. 10% of this disinvestment was made by Government of India in the coal sector. If you read the Economic Times, the newspaper, you will see the headings. 10% of this investment has been done in FDI sector or in CIL sector or in Maharatna companies, so and so. It simply means that 10% of the stake of the government organization have been sold or have been transferred to the private personals. So is the case in the railway sector even. The railway sectors are being planned to privatize now. The privatization is very soon the next step that will be taking place in our country. So 10% of the steps have already been covered, or 10% of the stakes have already been sold out to the private personals. That is, the station, railway station or the platform maintenance have been given to the private personals. Means they are in charge now. They will maintain the platform and all the areas around the stations is in their hand now. Earlier it used to be fully government, in the hands of the government only, Government of India only, but now 10% stake have been given to the private personals. So that stake, when the government transfers some of the stakes to the private personals, it is called as disinvestment. Disinvestment. About the importance, the next one is importance of the rail transport. The first one is, it is an important means of transport for carrying heavy and bulky goods over long distances. See, this is the most important merit of rail transport. Even the heavy and bulky goods can be transferred from one place to the other. Means the long distances are covered by the railway line, and that too with the heavy load. All the bulky goods, the iron ore or the steel augmented fact have been transferred from one place to the other. It's all possible because of the rail transport. For a minute, if you feel, if you just bind up with, if you just omit this rail transport, can the heavy loads be transferred by air transport? Never. Can the heavy transport be carried, heavy loads be transported by road transport? It is not possible. A truck or a bus has a limited capacity to carry the load, so they cannot carry it. Third, the two things are there: bulky goods and long distances. Both is possible because of railway only. If the railway were not there, this would not have been possible. The third is your shipping or the water inland. It does not carry a heavy load because it has the chances of sinking. So railway plays an important role in carrying of bulky goods to the long distances. That is one of the most important merit or importance of rail transport. The second is, railways are capable of carrying large number of persons comfortably and safely. The number of passengers that board the train every day or who are carried from one place to other is highest in any means of transportation. No other means of transportation carries so many passengers at one point of time. Third, railways are economical also. As far as you see compare the fares of different modes of transport, you feel like, okay, railway is the cheapest. That is why this sector or this line is highly respected or highly accepted by everyone, be it a higher class, middle class or the lower class. Everyone accepts railway, and that is why the distribution of the compartments are made. For highest, for the upper class, there are AC bogies. For the middle class, there are sleeper class, and for the lower class, there is a general bogie. Means the compartments are also distributed on the basis of the earning capacity of the individual. So this is the highest means of income for the government, and this is the cheapest means of transport for the general public. Next is the progress of, what is the progress of Indian Railways till date? 6 points I told you will cover. What is the progress of Indian Railways till date? The first is, it is increasingly modernized. One line you have to keep in mind, that the railway sectors have been modernized day by day. Day by day, the modernization process is on. The first one is, the railway network is increasingly electrified to provide faster, safer and pollution-free transport at lower cost. It is electrified. Electrification of the railway lines are done. Why? In order to provide faster, safer and pollution-free transport at lower cost. The second factor is, steam locomotives have been increasingly replaced by electric and diesel engines. Steam locomotives used to function, now they have been replaced by steam and diesel engines. Electric and diesel engines. Thirdly, the quality of track has also been improved. The quality of track on which the railway network runs has been improved. Means the broad gauge or the narrow gauge have been recognized as per the need of the railway sector. The fourth is, the work of converting meter or narrow gauge into broad gauge has also been in a good progress. I told you the gauge line have been in progress. Means as the need arises, so is the invention made. Same in the case over here, the need was to be update the narrow gauge to broad gauge, and that has been updated. Fifth is, Adarsh Station scheme was introduced in 2009. This is important because the new scheme only. Adarsh scheme is basically wherein all the modern facilities for a general customer, for a general passengers are provided. See, some stations have been given the tag of Adarsh station. Like for example, Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh have been the highest, the cleanest airport, cleanest railway platform in our country. Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh, and that has the biggest channel now. The airport has, I beg your pardon, it's not an airport, it's a railway station. The railway station is the cleanest one, and that they have been given the A certification from the Government of India side for maintaining it at par level. Same is the case over here. Adarsh scheme is a station, a railway station which has all the modern facilities for the general passenger is a Adarsh station. For example, Adarsh stations are provided with basic facilities such as drinking water, functioning toilets, catering services, waiting rooms, dormitories, especially for lady passengers. It becomes, sometimes it is very necessary to provide dormitories. Dormitories are like only in the big stations, like when you go to metro cities, Calcutta, Bombay, Madras and all, they have the dormitory. Small stations are lacking from this. So dormitories are somewhat helpful when you go for a long distance and you do not have a booking of the hotels and all. They will find it difficult where to live and where to stay. So the railways have the system of providing the dormitory. You just need to show your ticket by which you have come according to your ticket level. If you have a ticket of AC class, they will provide a dormitory of AC one. Or if you have a ticket of general one, they provide a dormitory of general level. So dormitories are an important part today because by big population, one cannot expect everything from the private personnel. So sometimes it becomes havoc when you need to go for a long distance and do not get the place to reside in. So dormitories is very important, and as far as the lady passengers are concerned, they have their own criticalities, they have their own difficulties. So keeping in mind, the government has been laying down or has been focusing on improving the conditions of the railway stations so that even the women passengers feel comfortable. And the last is Link Hoffman Bush, that is LHB, coaches capacity, better riding comfort, higher speed potential, longer life, and enhanced safety features are being introduced or inducted in the train services. Meet all the modern needs that one can expect, wherein the government can earn higher source of income is practiced now. Keeping in mind both the comfort, one, the government is able to fetch the revenue, and second, the passengers feel comfortable when they go for a ride, when they come to the railway station, when they book the ticket for the railway lines, they feel like they are part of the system. So this sector has been focusing on the endless developments in the recent times, and of the data, about 70% of the income of the railway sector comes from the freight sources. Freight is one that is used for the carrying of bulky goods, जिसपे हम माल ढुलाई करते हैं, कोयले को ढोते हैं, आयरन ओर को ढोकर एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ले जाते हैं. The carriage of bulky goods from one place to other place is the part of freight. Freight is basically, so that is the biggest source of income for the government. Nearly about 70% of the railway income comes from the freight or the movement of goods from one place to the other. So railway is a very important source for our country. As far as the economy is concerned, as far as the income sources are concerned, revenue is concerned, it is the biggest revenue generator and employment generator. It is the cheapest means of communication. It is the mode of communication which carries the longest distance, and heavy and bulky goods can be carried on rail lines. So this was about the rail transport. Tomorrow we'll see the other means of transport, that is road transport, and we'll have a brief comparison of rail and road, so that we can scale up accordingly. Okay, how is rail better than road, or what are the loopholes in the road transport when we compare with the rail transport. Thank you, class. Please kindly go through the videos and keep up your doubts. When we meet on June classes, we can have an interaction on the doubts. Thank you, class.